Hello and welcome to the Extra Mile. I'm Linda BOUDREAUX. Our guest today is SHARANE GOTT. SHARANE is the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Acadiana. She's also an old friend of mine and someone I haven't seen in a long time. So SHARANE, welcome. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Linda. It's good to be here.
It has been a long time since we've gotten together, and
Seems like yesterday, though.
I know, but I know that there are things going on with the BBB that I don't know about, so I'm hoping we can catch up today. But just to start, in case somebody out there doesn't know, what is the Better Business Bureau anyway, otherwise known as the BBB?
Well, it's a good thing to talk about because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. The Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit. We're not a charity. We're a business organization. We're funded by businesses. We're a 501c6 if anybody's taking notes out there.
And there's a difference between a 6 and a 3.
Yes, we're not a charity.
Yeah.
We're a business organization. So our business is funded strictly through fees paid by ethical businesses that meet our high standards. And our high standards are international. They're throughout Canada, throughout the United States, and about to be in Mexico.
Well, so let me ask you this. If somebody wants to give you their money for a membership or whatever, but they're not ethical, can they be a member?
No, they can't be a member.
So you'll turn down money in order to
turn
preserve
down
your ethics?
money all the time. It happens all the time.
Really?
So how do you know if a company's ethical?
Yeah, how do you know?
You go to our website. You can go to acadiana.bbb.org for the latest in scams. We posted on our the left side of the screen. That would be the rail that's there. For national site, you would go to bbb.org. And you put in the phone number or the name of the company. And I suggest not using the name of the company. Use the phone number.
Because they might change your name?
Well, because there's so many alike companies. You know, there's
Okay.
ABC Siding or ABC Rainbow Vax or ABC Roofing or whatever it is.
Right.
So use the phone number.
Okay.
And then if it's in our database throughout Canada and the United States, it will come up and give you a report.
Good or bad?
Well, we give ratings.
Okay.
We give ratings based on a lot of things. We give ratings based on the kind of company it is. We give ratings on, let's say, how many complaints you have that you answer, or suppose you don't answer a complaint. Then we have that information. How much information we have on you in our database, like when you started, who is your president, where are you located, those kinds of things. All that makes a difference. If you want to know how all that is figured up, all you have to do is go to our website, and we'll call it mousing over. You take your mouse and you roll over and the information that you want, and then it gives you more information, like how are the factors. There's 16 different factors that figure in a rating from A to F. So if you want to know how it got an A minus or an F, then you would mouse over that, click on it, and then it would tell you.
Okay, so this is really kind of structured. This is not just kind of
it's very
random,
structured.
arbitrary, I don't like them
No.
very much, I'm going to give them a bad score.
No, all this is, we have certain standards that we have to meet too. Now, accredited businesses are what fund Better Business Bureaus.
Accredited businesses are what?
Are businesses that meet our high standards.
So if somebody wants to be an accredited business, do you go out and meet with them and look at their books and check
We
their
don't look
site?
at their books, but there are standards that you have to meet. You have to honor your promises. You have to act like a good business. You have to be a good business. You have to have truth in advertising. You have to do all those things. And of course, you can opt out not to be accredited. It doesn't mean you're not a good business.
Right.
And you have to have an A or B rating. You can't have less than that. Also, there are certain types of businesses or industries that we don't accept. Things like advanced fee credit repair, might be some types of work at home schemes, things like that. We just don't take those kind of companies because, I mean, how ethical can they be? They usually start with deception.
I guess this is buyer beware time, but if somebody is thinking about maybe getting into one of those, if it's a business that the Better Business Bureau would not even accept, they might want to think twice about getting involved, huh?
Well, you know, when you're gathering information, and that's what the BBB is. It is a gather of information. We gather information about government actions, about where a company's located, their website, all kinds of things. So when we gather that information, consumers can gather information too from different places. You can go to the Better Business Bureau. You can go to any number of sites you want. What you need to do is gather that information and then make a decision based on all the information, not just one site or not just one information source. So if you decide to do business with them, know what the rating with the BBB is,
and what it means, and what it means.
And most people think that you can call the office, which you can, at 981-3497. We're there during the day. We have a 24-hour voice response system, which means that you can put in the telephone number of any business. If we have it in our international database, the computer will read the report. It's like magic.
Wow.
I know. So that's one of the ways you can find out. The other way, the best way to gather pre-purchase information is to go to our website at bbb.org. We have lots and lots of millions and millions of reports there. And while it might not be helpful, it might not be enough information to do what you want to do, or perhaps you can't find that information, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make a decision. There are some easy decisions to make out there.
Like what?
If a company starts with a deception, it's not going to end well. The other day, I have a list of things here that I wanted to talk about, some of the local scams. And the one we talked recently about was people got a postcard. On it was a picture of an airplane. And they said it was an American Airlines, and it was a plane from American Airlines, and you qualified to receive 2 free tickets.
On American Airlines.
Well, that's what it said. The American Airlines did not have the registered trademark, and the picture of the airplane wasn't American Airlines. So if you start with deceit,
okay,
where do you think you're going to go?
Okay, so those were flags all over that postcard.
And people say, well, let me call the number, and they set up a meeting here in town, several meetings. You could go find out more about it. But if it starts with deceit, then I don't know where they have to go. I mean, where else are you going to go with that? So the other thing is that if you check on the company and there's some issues that you're not quite sure of, I'm thinking maybe calling that phone number might not be a good idea. With any company, because what happens is crooks are in it for the money.
And let's use the word, because there's a lot of dishonest people out there trying to get your money, huh?
Well, thank God there's more honest people than there are.
Yeah. Otherwise we would just be going backward.
Yes,
Yeah.
And we're not going backward.
No, we're not.
This is the information age, but you have to help yourself. Mm-hmm. So let's say, I hear about this kind of stuff all the time. You receive a phone call, and even though you have caller ID, you decide to answer it.
Worst mistake.
Yes, worst mistake. Because not only will they call you again, they're going to make money off of you answering that phone, because they're going to sell that telephone number as a possible candidate for their scheme or their scam, whatever it may be.
So the minute you pick up the phone, your number is being sold.
Yes.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yes, that's true. So
what about the do not call list? That doesn't matter?
Well, guess what? I have some information on that. So when you're listening to this, I suggest that you do this. Go to the, get paper and pencil right now, because I'm about to give you the scoop. It's pretty easy. First of all, do you really want to join the do not call list? There are some honest businesses soliciting out there. And this doesn't apply to politicians, and it doesn't apply to charities. They still have permission to call, even if you register for the do not call list. So there are still honest businesses that call. So if you join the do not call list, the number is 888-382-1222. But I have a better way.
Which is?
donotcall.gov. So if you go on donotcall.gov, you can register your cell phone, you can register your home phone, whatever numbers you might have, and it will register you for that. But you have to decide whether or not you want to enter that. You have to read the information and then make your own decision. It's not going to stop the crooks. I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not going to stop the crooks.
It'll just stop some of the calls.
It's going to stop the good guys.
Okay. So the crooks are calling anyway.
Well, the crooks only call for one reason.
Money?
Money. So, what I tell everybody over and over again is the crooks don't succeed, they stop calling. So we as consumers have the power. We always have the power. We have the money. So just don't answer the phone if it's a number you don't know, or if you look at your caller ID, which everyone should have because it's so inexpensive.
Actually, it costs more not to have it than it does to have it.
Does it really?
I think I could be making that up, but it could be true. I think
Well,
it's true.
I think everyone should go out there and research it.
I think it's true. I think when I tried to get it, when I was getting my house phone, I think I had to have.
Oh,
There was kind of a part of
really?
the package, and it cost to
Really?
take it off the package.
Well, there you go. So if everybody checks it out, you can
Yeah.
find that out. You know, the thing about it is this is the information age. People call all the time, and they're very upset that people have information, the crooks, the other people on the other line. We don't know who they are. They have information about you. Well, of course they have information about you. It's the information age. You know, anybody can look up anybody's information, and now whether it's accurate or not is another story. But if a company calls, lately we had a DMV scam.
Okay, what were they doing?
Department of Motor Vehicles?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if it was a scam or it's just some advertising gone wrong, but they were calling and they were saying, let us help you save money on insurance through Department of Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles. Now, they're not going to save you any money.
Well, they don't sell insurance, do they?
No, they don't. But someone reported the phone number was a New Iberia number, and I think it was just a misunderstanding about the advertising. Sometimes advertising happens, and what happens is they don't mean it to be deceptive, but if you're a business advertising, they don't always see it as consumers. So that's what happened in this particular case. But the Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles does require all vehicles to have insurance, but it doesn't offer any assistance with lowering insurance.
No.
So if you want to find out about a company that's local and you want to find out if they're ethical, you would go to bbb.org, or of course you could give us a call, but you want to go online because you want to see the business review. It's like a page and a half long, depending on how you read it and with the business start date, who owns it, their website. You can do all those kinds of things, but you want to see with the Better Business Bureau, we deal with consumers all the time. Our vision is to be an ethical marketplace where buyers and sellers can trust each
You're
other.
kind of a watchdog, aren't you? Is
We
that
are
a fair
a
phrase?
watchdog with no teeth.
Okay. Okay. So the only thing really that you've got is information.
Well, information's a wonderful thing,
It is.
but you have to trust where you get your information.
And that's where the BBB comes in.
That's very good. You could have done that better if we would have talked about it. So start with trust. You can start with trust by trusting the BBB, of course. Everybody knows I'm around, and I have a reputation for being tough on businesses, which is true. We do. It's the Better Business Bureau. That's what we do. There are a lot of good businesses out there, and don't forget it. It is a consumer's responsibility to take care of themselves.
So it's not up to the rest of the world to fix it. If you do something and make a mistake, then you just made a mistake.
You made a mistake, but we have people that come in occasionally, and we hear stories. They think that if they tell us in person that it's going to change something. If you lose your money, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can call the FTC, you can call the Attorney General's office, and maybe the Attorney General's office can help you on occasion. Maybe you can file a complaint with us. But first we have to find the company.
Do they tend to disappear?
They tend to disappear. A lot of times people do business on a website or by telephone number, and they don't have a physical address.
And so they never even really appear. It's just kind of a virtual business.
Right. And so if you give them a debit card number or a green card, one of those green dot money cards, or it's Western Union, or if it's anything like that, anything besides a credit card, your money's gone.
A credit card, you have a little protection.
You have a lot of protection, depending on what credit card you have. So that's how we suggest you doing it. You do any kind of transaction. We locally also had pet scams in the area.
What is that? What's going on with that?
Oh, it's so sad.
I'm not liking even the word pet scam. I don't like that.
Well, we got some calls, and we have a small staff. There's 4 people answering the phone, including me sometimes. We get calls, and sometimes we get hundreds and hundreds of calls on a scam, and we got a few calls on this one, and it was an internet pet scam, and it was people looking for a certain kind of pet, and this online service said, or companies, or scam, or a schemer, or crook, said, okay, well, you could purchase that type of puppy here, and we will fly it to Lafayette, and all you have to do is give us this amount of money. Now, of course, it wasn't by credit card, and it was a checking account. Big red flag.
Okay, so if you can't use a credit card, that's a red flag for us to...
I'm thinking that's a pretty big.
Okay, so we don't know those things. You know those things, but
Right.
the rest of us, we need to know what to look for. So look
Well, what happens is sometimes they appeal to people that don't have credit cards, or sometimes it's a trick. It's a big trick. What they say is, okay, you can get a discount if you use a debit card, or if you use a bank account number, or you use that green dot money card, or some money card of some sort, or something where there is no protection on it.
Okay.
So that's the draw. And then the price is less than what you would think you'd have to be paying for some pedigree puppy. So then what happened to this particular case, and more than one case in this area, just recently, within the last month, is this con artist, let's call it what they are, said, okay, your puppy's on the way. They said it was the Lafayette Airport. They said it was at the Lafayette Airport in a crate, and they had to pay, they could go down and get it, but they had to pay a fee to pick up the puppy. One more fee. So the lady was on the phone crying. There never was a puppy. And she paid all the fees. And guess where her money went? To La La Land. Wherever La La Land is, there's lots of money there.
So that's really the rich place to go.
Yeah, that's where the crooks are, La La Land, I think. So she didn't get her puppy, she lost her money, and we hear those kinds of stories all the time.
So, you know, that's making me think, because oftentimes we think scammers, I mean, they take advantage of people, but it's just because you lost your good sense and you allowed yourself to be tricked. But trying to get a puppy or trying to get a pet through the internet or something like that does not seem out of the ordinary at all.
Well, it does seem out of the ordinary if you remember to check with the BBB and check on the company. If there's some little twist to it that sounds too good to be true, or there's some little nuance, there's something that is kind of different and makes you say in the back of your mind, oh gosh, oh that's different, or that little voice is the voice of warning, and no should be the word.
So pay attention to your intuition and your gut instinct.
I've been saying that for 20 years. That is the best advice anybody can give you anywhere. I mean, most things in life, if you hear this little voice that says, don't know, or no, that might sound too good to be true. I've said that thousands and thousands of times. So when you hear that inner voice, trust it and hang up the phone.
And I guess for a lot of us, especially Southerners and maybe Southern women, we think it's rude to hang up the phone.
It's not rude. It's effective.
So reframe that, people. It's not rude,
Well,
it's effective.
who do you want to take care of, yourself or a crook?
Yeah. And who's invading your home?
Well, it's totally an invasion, but what happens is these scams perpetuate themselves because they're funded. They're over and over and over again. I've been talking about the same scams with some little twists, like the grandparent scam. We have a grandparent scam. And I can remember talking about this, 20 years ago, before there were cell phones actively being used. They just called your house in the middle of the night. Now they call your cell phone. Or they still call your house in the middle of the night.
And what do they say?
Oh, it's terrible. They say, in fact, I know people that have been taken advantage of. Your grandson so-and-so is in jail and needs to get out. All you need to do is send this amount of money. I'm his friend Robbie, or some girl calls, I'm a friend Susan. And then all you have to do is wire this amount of money. That's the catch.
Do they know your grandchild's name?
Oftentimes, yes.
Okay, because they do have your information.
Because they do have information. If they're really slick. Now, this isn't a $500 scam. This is like thousands and thousands of dollars scam. So what we tell people to do is to be really, really cautious. If you get a call in the middle of the night, call your children, call your grandchildren. Everybody's got cell phones now. Don't naturally assume that somebody's telling you on the phone the truth. It might not be the truth. But what happens is you get awakened in the middle of the night, and your emotion comes right up. Your thought doesn't have time to be analytical, to be any of those things. We're into emotion right away. And you're into, oh my God, no.
My baby's in jail.
Yes.
Well, my baby can sit there a little while.
Accident, or he's, anything works.
Okay.
Whatever works. There are no rules here. So remember, if you do any kind of people will say, well, they're not supposed to call after this time or that time, and you get calls. Well, these are crooks. They don't care when they call.
Yeah,
There's
they're
no
breaking
rules for crooks.
Yeah, they're breaking the law anyway, so it doesn't really matter about the courtesies of all of
Can
this.
I get off the do not call list? Or I got this email and they're breaking the law. They're saying all these kinds of things. Well, the Better Business Bureau is about ethics and integrity. While we care about the law, we don't know the law. Is it ethical? You know, that's what we're worried about. Are they doing business with integrity? These are crooks. So what we encourage people to do is to find good businesses. And
So
we
it's
have
not
just the place.
It's not just taking away from, it's replacing that with something good.
Yes.
So in addition to protecting ourselves from those shady characters, we can really find out who the reputable businesses are in our area. Is that right?
That's right. It's more than right.
And nationally and internationally.
And you know the thing about it is, Linda, is you want to spend your money in the right place.
Because you're going to spend it.
Well, you're going to spend it, but I only have so much of it.
Right.
And so my pot doesn't keep flowing over. I mean, I only have so much of it. So I want to make sure that I manage my money well. I want to make sure that my life is as hassle-free as I can get it by doing business with good people. So we have a directory online. We have a directory of accredited businesses, and you can go to acadiana.bbb.org and look for to do business with accredited businesses. Those businesses we know have to fulfill the standards of the Better Business
Those
Bureau.
are the businesses that support the BBB, right?
Right. They
What about
support the
those
BBB.
that don't really support financially but are good businesses?
There's
How
a
can we
lot of
tell?
them out there.
Yeah, how can we tell those?
You can go to the same site. You can go to bbb.org, or you can go to acadiana.bbb.org, acadiana.bbb.org, and you can look for some information on those businesses. They could have an A rating, they could have a B rating, regardless of whether they're accredited or not.
Right, right.
But accredited businesses, they promise to build trust, to advertise honestly, to tell the truth, and we keep track of that, to be transparent, to honor promises, to be responsive, to safeguard your privacy, and to embody integrity. So if there's some question about that, about the type of complaints or the type of advertising or whatever they might be doing with their marketing or however they do business, then they no longer can be accredited, and we ask questions.
Okay, so that's part of the safeguard.
People think that you have to have complaints in order for us to have information on a business or to have some kind of negative information. It could be from government actions, it could be from advertising, it could be from a number of complaints, it could be from pattern of complaints. It's gotten a whole lot more evolved through the years.
Okay, so we can really see a broader spectrum of business activities and business behavior.
And we hold businesses accountable, regardless if they're accredited or not accredited. They go through the same thing. You know, if we do advertising challenges and we ask this business, can you substantiate your ads? In other words, can you prove what you say is true? Mm-hmm. We do it all the time. It's not because we question them or because we think they might not be telling us the truth. We just want to know, perhaps it's a little unclear, or perhaps consumers have questioned it, then we ask them to substantiate.
And they have the opportunity to do that or to not do that?
Yes, they do.
Because I just want to add, because we're almost out of time, but you do that for nonprofits too.
Oh, yes, we do it for...
Because I know you've asked us questions before, so, you know.
And consumers want to know. They want to do business with trust. So what we suggest you do is check with the BBB.
And before you do anything. So in the last 30 seconds that we have, what is the takeaway soundbite message of today's show?
Start with trust. Go to bbb.org.
And following trust, then you can make a decision based on information that's readily available.
Right.
SHARANE, thank you so much for being here and bringing us up to date. We're going to get you back soon because I like to keep up with all the current scams and stuff that's going on, but it's really been a pleasure.
Thanks,
and great to see you.
Thanks for asking.
And thank you for watching The Extra Mile.